y'all doing tonight? Friday night, you know what that means. It's time to flip and party. Am I right? Or am I right? How y'all doing tonight? Let me know before we get started. I ain't kicking off this stream until you let me know how you're doing tonight. I ain't even playing around. I'm serious. We won't do a darn thing until you let me know how you're doing tonight. 73 people in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. As you see the title, it's going to be an interesting night. Interesting night. Coop, you are half black. Say what? I don't know how. Thanks. I think. Oh man. Hope y'all are doing good though. I hope so. It's been a relatively good week for Miami. It's been a good off season for us so far. I would say we are definitely off season champions once again, and transfer portal champions once again. Now, trust me, I know we're going to dive into it. That doesn't mean anything unless it translates to wins in the 2020 season. I know. I get it. We're going to talk about it, all right? All right, so most people let me know how they're doing. All right, I like that. Russell, I'm doing pretty darn good, man. I'm doing pretty darn good. I can't complain. We know what's in the cup, Coop. I don't know. Ibis Canes fan 80. I don't know. What does Kool-Aid have to do with anything? You not familiar with the term, Gabriel? Who knows what it means when you're drinking the Kool-Aid? Like, I didn't even think about this. Is there anybody here? And it's funny because my wife said that. I told my wife, I said, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid just yet. I'm sipping. I'm taste testing. And my wife said, what's that mean? And I was like, I thought everybody knew what it meant to drink the Kool-Aid. You would be late for your own funeral. That's fair. Yep, you are 100% correct. So, 100%. 100%. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Welcome, Carlos, J-Play. Welcome, you guys. Buying in. Exactly. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. It's been good, Mel. It's been real good. Good seeing you in a... Yeah, man. I agree, Randy. Something happened in the off-season. Yep. We're waiting for a couple more people to get in. I think we can hit 100 viewers before we dive into this. I think we can. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Couple people. I do, Coop. No Kool-Aid yet. We're going to talk about it because we're gonna answer two important questions tonight. And I'm not even going to bring them up yet because I'm going to wait until everyone gets here so we don't have to repeat it. So let's wait a few more minutes. We'll small talk. We're pushing. We can get 100. 93. 94. Come on, we got it. We got it. Appreciate you, Lewis Lee. How you doing, man? What's up, CL? How you doing, man? What part of Tennessee am I in? I am in East Tennessee, Albert. Way east. Take a look at Tennessee and go all the way over to the right. And you'll find me up on top of a mountain in the corner. Close to it anyways. Hard not to drink it. 96. 4 more, guys. 4 more. 99. Can we hit 100 before we dive into this? What's going on, Brett Varner? I see you everywhere, Brett. You're in every Miami stream, and I love it, man. I love it. Auburn Aggie, how you doing, man? 99. 99. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's dive into it. Let's do it. I can't wait any longer. Now, I am going to make you guys wait a little bit longer because before we start the Manny talk, we have a couple of other things to talk about. Spring practice this year is starting February 29th. At the end of this month, on a Saturday, we're kicking off spring practice. That's good news, I think, right? That means Miami football is going to be here before we know it. Sooner maybe than a lot of us even anticipated or thought. However, let me show you something. Oh boy, let me show you something. It is what it is. There ain't really anything we can do about this, you know. Players that will miss most, if not all, of spring practice. Now, you guys have probably already seen this list, but I wanted to give you a visual, something to kind of look at to give you an idea, just in case you didn't. Austin Cave is going to miss. Sam Brooks, Bubba Bolden, Donaldson, Corey Flagg Jr., Don Chaney Jr., Bradley Jennings, Brevin Jordan, and Michael Redding III. All of these guys are going to miss most, if not all, of spring practice. Now, the good thing is, and this is again, yeah, they may come back. It doesn't mean that they 100% are going to miss all of it. But the other thing you also have to consider is there are guys that might get injured, fingers crossed, hopefully not, but I'm just saying that could get injured at the beginning of spring practice. So this is just right now at the moment. But you'll notice here, linebacker, 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 linebacker. So, and it's better, though, to make sure that these guys are healthy. And, of course, like with Brevin Jordan, you don't want to re-agitate something or re-injure it. So it's a good thing, right? It doesn't mean that these guys can't be studying the playbook. Doesn't mean that they can't be at practice watching, kind of absorbing the information and soaking it in. They just won't be going through the motions at spring practice. But I did want to show you the list of guys that are going to miss. I mean, that's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 guys. Woo, I can count. But I wanted to show you that just to kind of give you an idea. They did start mat drills this week. Let's take a look at, they actually uploaded a little snippet, a little teaser of the workouts this week. Let me bring you over there and let's take a look at that. Oh, Cameron. Let's go, baby. Let's go, McLeod. Let's go, baby.
Before we started, we don't make it. We all miss. Now we know when we come back on Thursday, we can attack it at a different level.
Now, I got a serious question, though. These catapult. Let me turn off the volume. Are these like weighted vests that they're wearing? What are these catapult little vest things that they're wearing? Does anybody know? I'm not going to pretend like I know when I don't, because I have no idea what these are. But it doesn't look like there's any kind of weight in them. Is it like posture? Is it weighted? Oh, you're right. Never mind. I know what it is. That was where they could track like the speed and whatnot, right? Yeah, and heart rate and all that stuff. Okay, yeah. I forgot that they called it the catapult system, didn't they? That's right. That totally slipped my mind. Appreciate you guys for reminding me. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that they do that. But they did start the mat drills and the workouts and stuff, and I can confirm that the coaches are very impressed. I'm just going to put it out there. Sports bras. That's a good one, Anthony. That the coaches are very impressed with D'Eriq King's work ethic. They've said that you can tell that he is just a natural-born athlete and that he loves competing and trying his best to be the best at what he does. They said, obviously there's no footballs involved here. You're running drills and sprinting and stuff like that. But they said they love what they see when it comes to D'Eriq King's work ethic. And that's really good to hear. So I think at this point we can go ahead and start talking about... actually, we'll touch on National Signing Day real quick. Let's go ahead and talk on that. Avonte Williams. Were you guys surprised or not? Be honest with me. Don't lie to me. Were you surprised by Avonte Williams? Because it totally caught me off guard. Totally caught me off guard. I was not expecting it. All right? Totally. Young Jedi came. What's going on, man? But listen, real talk for a second. I'm seeing a lot of Gator fans. David, what's going on, man? I'm seeing a lot of Gator fans, and I think they're trying to start rumors because they're pretty upset. They're saying that they're not upset about the Avonte Williams flip. But I, listen, they're trying to start some rumors that he hasn't sent in his letter of intent, but I think we're good. I think that they're trying to start some rumors because they're upset. Listen, they're trolling. Don't listen to all the Gator fans. David, Greg, George, if you guys are in here, listen, love you to death, but you're a little cuckoo. All right, I think you'll admit that. And then Isaiah Dunson. So we did go from 17 to, I believe, 13, didn't we? Didn't we finish out right now 2020 football team rankings at number 13? And I feel like this is an absolute blessing. Given the 2019 season, I think this is a miracle, if we're being honest here. Number 13 in the country after the 2019 season. If you would have told me that we were going to end up with the number 13 recruiting class after the 2019 season, I would have laughed in your face and said, no way. Ain't happening. Manny said papers were in 2 hours before Williams went public. Yeah, a bunch of the Gator fans are DMing me and stuff on Twitter telling me that, it's the ultimate trick. He flipped on you guys. He didn't send in his letter. And they're just Tennessee. Listen, I don't know how Tennessee does it, Ibis Canes fan. I don't know how they do it. But somehow Tennessee, they are the masters of recruiting over there, it seems like. I don't know. Coop, I'll be honest, as a Gators fan, we were sad about Williams, but we are loaded. So, yes, it hurts, but we are in great shape. Mullen knows how to run a program. All right. I just know I got a lot of Gator fans on my booty, and they're pretty upset about it. They say they're not, but, I mean, come on now. So let's dive into the real topic tonight. The one that's going to create some drama potentially. I usually stay away from drama unless it involves Miami Hurricanes football. Then I'm okay with it. All right? And we can open up the phone line if you guys want tonight. But what I want to know is 2 questions. Are you riding with Manny or not? And are you drinking the Kool-Aid yet or not? Now here's what you got to understand about me. I'm being cautiously optimistic like we said. A Kool-Aid jammer is not chugging the Kool-Aid. I'm sipping out of the Kool-Aid jammer. All right? Which is totally different. Totally different. But here's what I want to say. Here's why I'm upset, and this is why I want to address this. I fully understand and stand behind everyone saying, I will give Manny Diaz my full respect when all of these offseason changes equal wins. Because we felt like we won the offseason last year and we conquered the transfer portal, and look at our record, right? So I fully understand that. But what I get upset about and what I don't understand is when people say I have zero respect, period, for Manny Diaz. And yes, these people exist, and there might even be some here. I have zero respect for Manny Diaz, and he should be fired immediately from his head coaching position at the University of Miami. And I'm going to tell you why I highly disagree with that. I truly feel like that Manny Diaz does care about this program at the University of Miami. I think that he really does care about the football program, and he wants to succeed. I think, and I'm not making excuses for him, but I think that some of the issues are the result of him surrounding himself with some bad first-year hires. His first time putting a coaching staff together, he made some mistakes. Some guys that he brought in really just didn't pan out the way that he expected them to. But guess what? He made the changes. I know I sound like a broken record, but can you not at least give him some respect for what he's done in the offseason? Do you see what I'm saying? the people that are chanting fire Manny Diaz, I'm still seeing it on all the forums and on the Facebook posts and stuff. Do you want to go back to, let's look at some of our past coaches, some recent ones. Let's go look at Mark Richt. Let's go look at Al Golden. These guys were stubborn and unwilling to make any changes. Manny Diaz comes in here and hires a new OC, hires a new offensive line coach, hires a new wide receiver coach, gets Roche from the transfer portal, gets De'Aaron King from the transfer portal. He's willing to adapt and make changes, and I like seeing that in a head coach. So what more can you ask from a second-year head coach realistically, given that right in this moment, February 7th, 2020, he can't prove anything. This won't translate to wins yet because it's not football season yet. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's okay to have high expectations for him and say, if you don't at least meet this, I'm going to be super upset with you. But you have to give him a little bit of respect for being willing to make some of these difficult decisions and make some of these changes that coaches in our past recently were not ready and willing to do. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm telling you that it doesn't forgive him for the 2019 season, right? We're never going to forget that. And I'm also saying it doesn't give him an automatic pass for whatever happens in the 2020 season. We have to win. Yes, I get it. I get it. We have to win, yes. But can you not give him a little bit of respect for some of these big-time offseason changes that he's making? Yes or no? Am I saying that we're going to win the ACC championship next year? No. Am I saying we're going to the playoffs? No. But how do you want him? How do you want him to win the ACC championship or go to the playoffs in February of 2020? It's not the football season. The college football season has not started yet. So I'm telling you, me personally, I'm standing behind the statement that I'm putting some respect behind his name for him being willing to make these changes, period. Making the necessary moves, I agree. Cypher says being handed a great program is one thing, having to rebuild it yourself is another. At least he's showing he's trying to stick around. I really think he does truly care about the program. I think he does. We made the same moves last year in 6 and 7. You're right. It was also his first year as a head coach, and we also see how Dan Enos panned out, for instance, with the offense. I'm not saying that this year is going to be perfect. If anybody's taking it that way, then you're misunderstanding me. Maybe I need to rephrase it or say it differently. I'm just saying you have to respect him being able to or being willing to make some of these changes. He could have kept Dan Enos. He could have. He could have said that was Dan Enos' first year. This is my guy. I don't want to look like an idiot, like I hired the wrong person. So I'm going to keep him here because he's a good friend of mine, or because I don't want to look like a dummy, that I made a bad hire my first year as the head coach at Miami. But he didn't do that. He said, you know what? Pack up your stuff and head home, because we're bringing in somebody who can run a better offense than you. So I don't understand. Like I said, it's something I'm normally I'm not very stubborn, but I'm going to be kind of stubborn with this one. Thank you, T2Y Exclusive. I've been loving the videos, man. I've been checking out the videos. You've been posting regularly and putting out some good content, man. Thank you for the $1.99.
This is what it takes to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Manny has my respect. He ain't stubborn.
I don't know why she read that weird, T2Y. I don't know why she read it like that. I'll get you up there for top dono on the day, my friend. T2Y Exclusive. If you look him up, guys, he posts Miami Hurricanes content as well. Some real funny stuff. He's got some funny vids up there. But if you look him up on YouTube, he should come up. Thank you, man. You thought you would have a whole jug of Kool-Aid? No. Like I said, I'm just sipping. I'm just sipping because off-season champions does not mean anything at the end of the year necessarily. I'm talking about it doesn't automatically translate to wins, I guess is what I'm saying. You're curiously drinking the Kool-Aid, like what they brought in. I understand, Mel, exactly. Right? Right? So let me see if I had anything else I really wanted to cover. I've spoke my piece on it. And then I'll take some call-ins from you guys. Now, actually, you know what? I want to establish something. We have 142 people in here. I need to figure this out. Oh my gosh, George, he made it. You speak his name and he shows up. Manny getting fired should not even be a topic, 3 years minimum. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing, John Futch, is there are people constantly spamming Manny Diaz needs to be fired right now. And people are going to take this stream and they're going to say, oh, Coop is apologizing and making excuses for Manny Diaz. He's a Manny Diaz butt kisser, whatever you want to call it. It's not that. It's not that. I've come on here and bashed him for his decisions in the 2019 season. It's right here live on YouTube. Video, they're posted up. You can go back and look at them. But it's constructive criticism. I want him to succeed because I feel like he wants to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Sympathizer? Yeah, no, that's not at all what I'm doing here. That's not at all what I'm doing. But I feel like it'd be dumb to root against him. There's a difference there. There's criticism and constructive criticism, and then there's rooting against someone. But what I wanted to ask you guys, I'm getting off topic here. 150 people. It's not cool to say the new Miami anymore, right? Like I think we've established this, that no one does hashtag TNM and no one says the new Miami after what we did in the 2019 season. Like that is no longer a thing, right? I feel like we need to make sure that this is established.
To wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Nothing wrong with sip of KOOLAID.
Exactly, Brett Varner. Nothing wrong with sipping the Kool-Aid. Just baby sips, man. Exactly. Thank you for the 5, Brett Varner. So, what are we saying here? What are we saying? That's not a thing anymore, right? I don't use it anymore, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. TNM 2.0, please no. Please no. The computer doesn't know Kool-Aid? No, she has no idea that Kool-Aid is a real word, apparently. The U. Point blank, period. I like it, Russell. I like it because it kind of takes away any little, what do you want to call it? Any kind of little like catchphrases and stuff to put with it. Just be what we are, the U. Okay, so I think we've got that established then. The new Miami is not a thing. All right, cool. Now, I did want to also bring up the guys going to the NFL Combine for the Miami Hurricanes. I actually screenshotted to make sure I got all of the names right. I wanted to see if you guys, and then I'll start taking phone calls about the Manny Diaz situation and if you're sipping the Kool-Aid or not. I wanted to read off the names and see if any of these guys, I just wanted to see kind of reaction on what rounds you think that some of these guys might go. So the Canes have 8 participants in the NFL Combine this year. You've got Trajan Bandy, DJ Dallas, John Garvin, Trayvon Hill, KJ Osborne, Michael Pickney, Shaq Quarterman, and Jeff Thomas. How do you guys think that some of these guys are going to perform in the Combine? Unfortunately, I think several on this list are going to be very disappointed. And that's me just trying to be realistic. I think that a lot of these guys are going to be disappointed. I saw that there was a couple of guys from NFL teams that said that Jeff Thomas shows a lot of promise. but they were saying that they were kind of skeptical about bringing him on board. And that's coming from them. That's not from my mouth. That's coming from some of these scouts and things that go out to the combine and check these guys out. Coop, I was a fan before we won our first natty. You were on point. And most of our fans know how to reference natties, not what it takes to see one constructed. I got you, John Futch. JT4 will not get drafted because of his attitude. I mean, they talked about that. You think all will get drafted? You think so, Calvin? I actually don't think that Bandy does, and it's not just because of his height. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I like Bandy. I think he's a dog. I think he's a fighter, but I don't think that he does. Unpopular opinion, most likely. And I am really excited. I didn't do a video on Rob Likens. I'm really excited about this guy. I like him being the wide receiver coach. He's got Rhett Lashley's approval. He speaks very highly of him. I like that this guy is a former offensive coordinator. So we've got a guy who has been an OC and a quarterback's coach coaching up the wide receivers. And I think that's big. And it's really good with some of these recent hires that we've been making. What do we struggle with a lot in the 2019 season? Offense. Well, a lot of these guys that we're bringing in are offensive-minded coaches. That's what they've done. It's what they know. They eat, sleep, and breathe offense. So that's good. Hopefully that gets us back on track in 2020 because I know that I'm beating a dead horse here. Thank you for promoting the like button, Brett Varner. You don't think DJ Dallas will get drafted? It's going to be interesting to see. It's been a while since I've actually kept up with the NFL Combine, but I think I'm going to keep up with it this year just to kind of see what happens with these 8 Miami Hurricanes, former Miami Hurricanes. But as I said, I know that we're beating a dead horse here, but again, I still feel like that 30 is the magic number for points per game for us. I understand that was the 2019 season, but I mean, just look at it. If we go over and look, it speaks for itself. If Miami, I know, guys, I know so many people have already said it. If Miami had averaged 30 points per game in 2019, which is not unreasonable, assuming everything else happened exactly as it did, I know it's all hypothetical and it already happened. Florida game, victory. North Carolina game, victory. Virginia Tech game, wouldn't have mattered. Georgia Tech, potentially a victory. FIU, victory and or overtime. Duke, victory. So, minimum 30 points per game is what we need, but I think we need to shoot for like 35. Maybe even, I want to even say 40, but I mean, given the overall week schedule we have, 30 to 35 points per game would be huge for the 2020 season. You don't want to set your ceiling or expectations too low, but that would be a huge improvement over 2019. Yep, 1 offensive coordinator and then 3 former offensive coordinators. I like it. I like it. Josh Ayers says 42 points a game. I'd love it, man. I would love it. Your O-line is way too bad. We're going to see. I think that the O-line can make some improvements, and I'm hopeful that Garen Justice can actually coach these guys up a lot better than Butch Berry did as well. So I'm cautiously, again, optimistic. But as I said, I'll say it one more time, and then I'm opening up the phone line. I really, truly think that Manny Diaz, unfortunately, was the victim of some bad first-year hires on his part. And that falls on him because with a lot of that, that's his call, and he makes those decisions. He contacts these guys and says, and talks to them and says, this is my guy, right? I want him. So that's on him, but I'm just saying he surrounded himself with some bad hires that made the 2019 season go from just bad to really bad. And I think that he's made some pretty good corrections. And I do think that he truly cares about trying to get this program back on track if we can hang in there with him a little bit longer. All right? So let's get the phone line open up. What I want to ask you guys is if you're riding with Manny or not, it doesn't mean that you can't criticize him. I do it all the time. All the time. And are you sipping the Kool-Aid or drinking the Kool-Aid yet or not? Those are going to be the two questions tonight. Florida Boy 850, what's going on, man? How you doing? Those are going to be the two talking points tonight. Or if you want to talk about whatever. I mean, you know. But let's get it opened up. You got some bad recommendations? Oh, you think he got some bad recommendations? I agree. And that's why I say he made the necessary changes. You know? I can rock with that. He's willing to adapt. He doesn't seem to be stubborn, in my opinion. I don't really think you can say that. I don't think that you can look at a head coach that fired several guys from his staff after their first season and then tell me that he's stubborn and that he's not willing to adapt and make changes and try to win and right the ship. I don't think you can make that argument. Why so many linebacker injuries? I'm not sure, Randy. And I'm actually going to go... I'm going to post a video that goes in depth about the guys missing spring and each individual injury for the players and whatnot. I didn't want to do it in the live stream because most people who watch the VOD probably won't make it this far, to be honest, because the streams end up being hours long, but they'll watch like a 10-minute video. So I'll do a 10-minute video this weekend probably detailing the spring injuries and whatnot. So like I said, if you guys want to call in tonight, are you riding with Manny or not? And are you drinking the Kool-Aid yet or not? I know those are kind of some silly topics, but I'm just a silly dude, all right? That's just how I do things. So phone line is open, 865-229-4131. We'll try to keep them 5 to 10 minutes on the phone calls, guys. That way we can go through and get as many people in as possible. If anybody even does want to call in and discuss this tonight. I don't know if these are fun topics to discuss. Hey, I appreciate you, Randy Noel. I see you on my videos commenting and hanging out in the live streams all the time, and I really appreciate it, man. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
Hey, it's George. How you doing?
Oh my goodness, it's George. I was about to ask you right off the bat if you're sipping the Kool-Aid or not, but I bet you're not, are you?
Everybody's favorite Gator. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Hell yeah! And the reason I'm sipping the Kool-Aid is because you can't do any worse than last year. You're safe.
I mean,
it will be a better year next year. I promise.
So George,
God damn. That was like us going 4-8 2 years ago. Then we won 10. Then we won 11. Man, we're always in New Year's Six bowls.
Now,
that's what's going to happen.
Can I ask you a question? If you'll promise to be honest with me,
I'll try.
Okay. Miami's not playing Florida this year. Not right now. You know, regular season. Okay. All right.
You got time to get ready.
When Miami is not playing Florida, you kind of like us a little bit, right? Don't you?
I like Miami. You're one of my favorite teams.
Okay, and I'm not trying to like troll you or mess with you. It was an honest question.
No, man. Listen, I like certain teams. I like Miami, and I like Florida, and I like Auburn, and that's about it, really.
Okay. Yeah,
and I used to live in Auburn, and that's why I like them. And they had a Heisman winning trophy quarterback the year I was there, but they still lost to Alabama that year. It's hilarious. That was like 71. But and I like Miami because when we were both good, that was a lot of fun. What could be more fun than number 1 Florida playing number 2 Miami, or vice versa?
Yeah, I was about to say I'd flip it, but I mean, you know, I get it. You're right.
Either way, I just want to see the game. How the fuck can Miami suck? You're Miami. I don't get it.
And it's one of those things I know a lot of people here are probably expecting for me to fire back at you and say, I can't believe he's saying that stuff. But the thing is, guys, George is not lying. I can't fire back at him.
I'm 6 years old, man. I lived through the good old days.
The record and the stats from 2019.
I know what Miami football is, You young people, even you don't know. You weren't there.
But the stats and the record don't lie from the 2019 season. So, I mean, you're
Oh
right.
my God, the bowl game. The only I'm never going to talk about it. I'm just going to pretend it never happened.
But yeah,
Nothing to even make a joke about last year. It was just his first year, and shit happens. And if Ed Reed doesn't stop them from the fashion show and partying when you're losing, I might give up on you.
yeah, I like when he said in that press conference, he was. I know he went on and dove deeper into this, but he said, if you don't want to compete, don't come here. And then he said,
Uh-huh.
at least not while I'm here. And I was like, oh
Yeah, all
boy.
that bullshit.
Oh boy.
Quarterbacks partying, that's not going to happen anymore. No.
Yeah, we needed some fresh blood in here, and we needed to weed some guys out. People got mad when I said, hey, Jaron Williams, I'm glad he's out of here. If that's the case, if he wants to go, see you later. Best of luck to you. But there are some guys that we did need to weed out.
Yeah, that happens, man. Everybody goes through that. You were changing coaches all the time. Hopefully, Manny works out. Otherwise, you're going to start over, and that's almost too much to bear. Doing it again, no.
Yeah, I don't like playing what I call the coaching lottery. Just every year or 2 years, just trading it in for another one, scratching it off, hoping we get a big year that first year. I hate doing that. I do.
You know what? I can't believe that y'all didn't just go offer Joe Brady, the guy that set up LSU's offense. Why didn't you just go offer him $7 million a year? I don't get it.
I don't think he'd come here.
$8 million then.
I don't know, because I feel like too many people think that we can get whoever we want, even with just the right amount of money. I know money does talk. It definitely does. But there are a lot of people who wouldn't want to come here.
I'm starting to hear people talking about your facilities now. There's always the stadium thing. So you do have some shit against you. But the problem is that if you just look at your roster and your teams and your recruiting rankings, there is no excuse for not getting to play Clemson every year. Even if you lose to them, at least you get there every fucking year. And all these years, you didn't even get there. I don't understand that.
No, I agree. With the Coastal is absolutely pitiful. And right now, I'm throwing us into that category. But
You're making them look good. You're making them look good. You're giving them all clout like they beat Miami.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely no excuses. You're right. I mean, we should be facing Clemson back to back to back to back. Like you said, whether we're actually competing with them or not may be a different story. They're kind of on a different level at the moment.
Hey, listen. Go to UCF or whoever that is that claims they're a national champion a couple years ago and put them on your schedule every year. You have to get a couple games in there. You could potentially win. I guess if you beat Clemson, you're going no matter what. But other than that, you have no hope. You have to beat Clemson to get there. Put some teams on your schedule during those, because the rest of your schedule's soft. It's no big deal. And this takes time. It takes too time to schedule out in front. This shit's all 10 years, behind.
Yeah.
Just beat Clemson. That's the easiest way to the playoffs. Oh my God, I will not give up hope. I'm going to hope till last second you go undefeated and beat fucking Clemson. Why not? It makes football fun.
I like to hear it, George.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not. Listen, confident people aren't like, they don't need to make fun of people and shit. You know what I mean? I'm confident in our team and myself or whatever. I have no reason to talk shit about Miami. I want you to be good. Let's be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5 every year. When you drop, you should be number 8 at the end of the year. Not number fucking 47.
All right, George. I appreciate you calling in, speaking your piece, man. And I really do appreciate you hanging out, because most people, fans of opposing teams, after we play them with Florida, where it's not an every year kind of thing, they disappear after that. And you've continued to hang around and watch the videos and chat on the live chats and stuff. And I really do appreciate that.
I can only do it because I only do it for a couple of teams. I'm missing the whole world of football except for Auburn and Miami. I don't even pay – even during off season, I drop most of them. But Miami has some shit going on right now, so it's exciting. It's kind of fun. Good luck. I hope it works.
I appreciate you calling in, George.
Later.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, see, I can't – you guys have to understand that some people are going to say, Coop, why would you let somebody sit there and just dog Miami? He didn't really sit there and just dog Miami. He sat there and just spat some facts at me, right? We've been irrelevant for a long time. Look at our previous records. Look at the stats. I can't throw anything back at that. Let's take the next call. Oh, I just missed it. George is actually fine. A lot of people don't like George. But I do think that he has a soft spot for Miami, 100%. And he semi kind of confirmed it just now. So it is the case. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
This is Caden.
Caden, what's going on, man?
Where do you think Lorenzo Lingard will end up landing? Or do you think he'll get his waiver?
What was your question about Lingard?
Do you think he'll get his waiver?
Oh, do I think he'll get his waiver? I honestly really don't know. And I say that because I haven't looked at any of the other current players that have been approved or not approved for their waivers. And there was a lot of pressure on them last year with players who were getting approved for all these crazy reasons. So other players were saying, well, why am I not approved? And there was a lot of pressure and stuff applied after that. So with that, I honestly don't know at the moment. I would hate to give an opinion on something that I'm not fully educated on the circumstances with him specifically and at Florida. So I'm not 100% sure.
All right, that sounds good. Do you think Huff will start next year with the sprain injuries?
That's kind of the thing. Stuff like that, I'll dive into it once I can actually see spring, how some of these other guys compete in the outcome, and then kind of look at some summer and fall stuff, and then I'll feel a little more comfortable speaking on him. I'd like to see him in action some and kind of see how he performs, and then I'll take it from there.
All right, thank you for letting me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you calling in, Caden.
Thanks.
All right, have a good one. Yeah, sorry, Caden. I didn't really dive into your questions that you were asking, and it's just because I want to be able to properly evaluate these guys a little bit more. And then also with the Lingard stuff, I have not been researching that. I'm just going to be honest with you. Once Lingard hit the transfer portal, I stopped paying any attention to him. That's just facts. I didn't keep up with Lingard at all. I have not even looked at anything to do with Lingard since he left. And I have no kind of want to. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
This is Captain Hurricane.
Captain Hurricane. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm excited, man. I'm enjoying your show. I think we're going to have a real good game plan this year. I think that we should be at least 10-2 minimum. I'll be honest with you. If we get any play at all from our running backs, I think we're going to be real hard to stop.
We've got some serious potential there if the O-line can improve, which I'm very hopeful for with the new offensive line coach, Garen Justice, coming in, and some of these guys having some more playtime and experience under their belt coming into a second year. I'm, again, cautiously optimistic for me. So
Well, I went over.
Go ahead.
I went over Rhett Lashley's offense at SMU there, and just watching the line and what they did and the speed of the ball that's coming out of the quarterback's hand. It's a timing offense, and I think it's really going to fall right into our speed. But running backs, to me, is going to be the big question. I think we're going to go as good as our running backs do, and I do think they will do good. I think there's a lot of people worried about how good Miami's really going to be this coming season.
Do you think Cameron Harris can take and keep that number one spot with some of these young guys coming in, these young bulls?
Well, here's the thing. With Ed Reed, I know he's there. I think all these guys are going to get tested. I think all of them are going to touch the ball. And that's the name of this offense, is spread it around. It's tempo, speed, You're going from how many plays we were in last year, almost doubling it
Yeah.
probably. I mean, it's going to be scary for these other teams. I mean, you can't tell me that Georgia Tech, Duke, everybody else is not worried about what's being implemented down in Coral Gables right now.
They're watching. They're keeping an eye on it, most definitely. And I know the fans are as well, because I see fans commenting on the videos from opposing teams and stuff. I see the profile pictures. So they're keeping up with it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we're fixing to give Clemson a run for their money. Wait and see what I tell you.
I really hope that this year we can, with some of the depth that we have at running back, assuming everyone's healthy, I would like, me personally, and tell me what you think and what everybody in the chat thinks, I would like to see a little more rotation with the running backs, putting in fresh guys. Now, obviously, you want to kind of feed the hot hand, but I would like to see us rotate some more guys in and out, because we're going to have, again, assuming everybody's healthy, quite a bit of depth there. And I'd like to see us keep kind of rotating some fresh legs in there.
Well, what's going to happen is with you're right. What's going to happen? There's going to be a lot more rotation, but where everybody's fixing to see a big change too, that's not really being talked about a whole lot anywhere, is I think you're going to see an explosive special team on kickoff returns. I think that's going to be a big boost. But I do think the tight ends, they're going to have theirs. But I think running back is going to be a big part of this offense, because it's all about misdirection scheme, but there is power play to it also. So I'll be honest with you, after just watching that offense at SMU, because I watched a bunch of it here over the last week, it's going to be real hard for anybody to defend. And if these receivers get the timing down, and I'll be honest with you, once this offense gets implemented, I really believe that any of our quarterbacks can run this offense.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be kind of easy to pick up, player friendly, and of course, when you have a fast-paced offense like that, I think that players just in general enjoy the game more, because it's all about, up tempo, keep things going, scoring lots of points, and it's just literally. I know it sounds silly, but I mean, I feel like you play a lot better when you're actually having fun. And I think that the players are going to enjoy it.
Well, exactly. And here's what I look at, too. If you take last year, as bad as it was, if we just had a field goal kicker, how many more games would we have possibly won? And now you're going to implement this high-powered air raid offense. I don't see no way that it's not 10 wins.
All right. So you are, I take it, I probably already know the answer to this question, but of course we're kind of talking about putting some respect on Manny Diaz's name, not forgetting about the 2019 season and everything that happened. But are you a fan overall of Manny Diaz? Have you given him any more respect?
Yes, I am. I am completely drinking the Kool-Aid by the gallon.
You drinking it by the gallon?
And I think the rest of the country will be by the time we get to mid-season.
Okay, I've been very upfront that I'm sipping it. I've got the Kool-Aid jammer. When I broke out for the video, the big giant thing of Kool-Aid that I'd made, that was just honestly kind of a joke. I'm not chugging it yet, but I'm sipping it.
Well, we're going to have to get you a funnel by the time we get to Florida State.
I'm actually going to go to that game, I'm pretty sure. I think I have everything lined up to attend the Florida State game.
I probably will be there too, and I'm probably going to go to Virginia Tech as well.
All right. Hopefully we can meet up with some people this year, because when I went to the last FSU game, I only got to hook up with like 3 or 4 people and say what's up and kind of hang out for a bit, because my plane got delayed, then the delayed plane got delayed, and then it was right. A bunch of craziness. So I'm hoping to get there early this year and party it up before the game.
I'm about 3 hours from Tallahassee, so I'm not that far.
Okay.
But well, I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your name again?
Captain Hurricane.
Captain Hurricane. All right. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you now.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
And see, this is why I want to take these phone calls, and this is why I want to get your opinion, because we're not all going to be on the same page with this. Keep that in mind. We got people, somebody said it already, Kane for Life 75. There are some people that got an IV hooked up and it's pumping Kool-Aid straight into their veins 24/7. All right? Then we got some people who are saying, I got the Kool-Aid packets, but I'm not mixing it yet. Then you got people in my situation where I got the Kool-Aid jammer and I'm just sipping it because I'm liking what I'm seeing, but we don't know if it's going to fully translate to wins or not. Right? So that's why I like calling. Don't be afraid to call in. If you're all in, call in and say it. If you're not, if you think this is all a bunch of nonsense and you think we're still going to have a horrible 2020 season and you hate Manny Diaz, call in. Tell me. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
Hey, this is Jordan out of Georgia.
Jordan out of Georgia. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing too much. Hey, I just want to hit on a few points you're talking about the whole Manny situation.
Yeah, go for it.
He, people knocking on him. Everybody who watched this season. There was 3 big problems. There was a kicker, quarterback, and an offense. And whoever said Dan Enos wasn't going to solve the problem last year would just be lying. Everybody was on that train.
Oh, I was hyped about getting Dan Enos. I made a little video because my father-in-law is a huge Alabama fan, and I made a video and I was like, we got one of your coaches, And then now I've said it a couple times, but again, we would be the team that would pull a coach from Alabama and it would backfire in our face. It would be Miami that would happen to.
Of course. And during the this offseason, he goes and hires Rhett Lashley, offensive coordinator for 9 years, Rob Lickens, an offensive coordinator, and Garen Justice, an offensive coordinator. And he goes and gets Telly Lockett for an analyst that also has ties in Miami. So
that can help a lot with recruiting potentially. I know because people keep throwing that out there. They're saying, Coop, they can't go on visits and this and that. I get that. I understand that. But it doesn't mean that some of these guys that come to visit Miami, that they might talk to them a little bit and kind of help convince them, and stuff. So I think it is a big deal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you think Manny doesn't think the offense is a problem, that alone will tell you that he agrees.
Yeah, pretty much all the guys he brought in are offensive-minded guys and have backgrounds dealing with offenses for other teams. So he recognized the problem, and he's trying to nip it in the butt and turn it around. I agree.
And the whole Avante situation, if Manny was there in 2015 and they developed that relationship before, if they had gotten rid of him before, he would be at Florida today, no doubt in my mind.
Because I at no point, as much as I criticized Manny Diaz for the 2019 season, at no point, you can go back and watch all of my videos, all the live streams, did I ever say that I wanted him fired. I just said I wanted to see him be willing to make changes, and I'll ride with him, and he's shown me that so far.
Oh, no, we're on the same page. I agree with you. But to your point, where the other guys are like, oh, I can't stand Manny, it's like, man, you can't say that. Even if he doesn't work out as a head coach, which I hope he does, what he did at defensive coordinator, you just can't, you just can't speak to that. He brought the defense back to where it should be. And, if he doesn't take it, if he doesn't hash out, I mean, what he did at defensive coordinator, you just cannot forget that.
Because, see, people are saying you should have criticized him. He's horrible. Yes, I'm not denying that the 2019 season was horrible. It was an absolute disaster. But again, he's making some changes.
Face with smiling eyes, raising hands.
Right now, we're not going to know the results of those changes until the 2020 season gets here. So I'm not going to step back here and say we're going undefeated, that we're winning a national championship, we're beating Clemson, we're going to the playoffs, we're playing in the ACC championship. I'm not saying any of that. But I feel like I have to explain it 100 times. I'm saying put some respect on his name for him being willing to adapt and make these tough changes. It's not easy to like I said, guys, to hire in a staff and then turn around and fire a bunch of them after the first year because that's still on you. So you're still going to have the people that are saying, wow, cool, like me, he's willing to make some changes. And you're going to have the other people that are going to say, look how stupid he was to hire these guys that didn't pan out. He's not good at choosing guys and picking the hires. But he's still willing to do it because I think he does care about this program. Does that make him a good head coach? No. With 2 or 3 years from now, we might, or even sooner, I don't know, we might be saying, okay, he's going to have to go. He's just not head coaching material. And that might be the case. It might be.
Right. There's no doubt in my mind he cares about the program. I think he has exemplified that time and time again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what people want him to do more of right now during the off season. I guess that's what kind of confuses me.
Right. He's done everything he can to somewhat fix what the problems that seem to be.
Exactly.
And
we don't know how it's actually going to pan out until it happens. Right now, we don't have any idea. We're just guessing.
And I think the biggest key factor to take away from this offseason that Miami has not seen in the past is the quarterback position. The last good quarterback, by good, I mean the one that you can kind of depend on
the side of your helmet.
If you don't,
Make Miami great again 2020, go Canes.
And now we're bringing in somebody like Derek King, and I think that's just going to be huge for us this upcoming season.
Yeah, I do think that he's going to be a baller and have a pretty good year. He's coming here to play. He wants to increase his draft stock. The coaches are already speaking highly of him with just some of these off-season workouts and drills and stuff that they're going through. And a lot of people have touched on saying that they are kind of already speaking like he's QB1 kind of no matter what. I mean, I do think it would take something catastrophic for him to not be given the job, I guess, so to say. Either like he gets injured or for some reason somebody else steps up like Perry or even TBD. I'm just throwing some names out there. I'm going to say the M word, Martell. Oh, gosh, here we go. People are going to freak out on me. But I feel like that Derek King, I've said it before, has been given the keys. And as long as he doesn't somehow find a way to crash the car during the offseason, then he will be QB1, 100%.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's even good for those other guys like Nkosi to learn under him. And they're coming from offenses in Miami that already run this kind of thing. And, it's going to be a step up, obviously, because it's high school to college. But that's the kind of offenses that they're used to.
Right.
And the long-term recruiting down there with the quarterbacks that are already in this kind of system, they'll be a good fit for it. It's, I feel like being a dead horse. The air raid offense is something that Miami's been missing for a long time, and it's
right. It's gonna feel good to finally see it, isn't it? It's gonna feel so good. I hope.
Of course. I ain't drinking the gallon like the other guy, but I'm sipping it just a little.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, and that's why I keep telling people, call in and tell me if you are, if you're not. Like, just be honest, be upfront. We're all gonna have different opinions, so nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I appreciate you calling in, man. What was your name again? One more time.
Jordan.
Okay, that's right. Jordan, I appreciate you calling in tonight, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hurricane Logan, thank you for the 501. Brett Varner, did I thank you for the 5? I think I did. Thank you again for that, man. Hurricane Logan did the 501 and was sitting on top of the throne for a little bit and then came for life 75, came through with the 999. Thank you, my friend. Says, make Miami great again 2020. Go Canes. As I said, there's nothing wrong with criticizing Manny Diaz. And there's nothing wrong with taking a wait-and-see approach. That's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I do feel like it's pretty dumb to root against him. Those, I guess, are the people that I'm talking to. And maybe that's not any of you guys that are watching this live stream right now. It might not be. But I do feel like it's dumb to root against him. People that want to see him fail. People that hate him so much for the 2019 season that they just want to scratch it and just start over again and bring in someone else. Let's take another phone call. Let's get another guy in here. Or gal. Could be a gal. Listen. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
Hey, this is Brett. How's it going, Coop?
Brett, going pretty good. Is this Brett Varner?
Yes,
Oh, heck yeah. Good to hear from you, man.
you too. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm not complaining. I'm having a good time talking Miami football tonight.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite subject.
So let's talk a little bit. We can discuss anything Miami that you want, but of course you're familiar with the topic we're kind of discussing here. With are you riding with Manny? Are you giving him any respect? And are you chugging the Kool-Aid? You sipping it? You not touching it at all? What are you thinking? Talk to me.
Well, I promised myself that I wouldn't drink any Kool-Aid this off season.
That's
But
fair.
with the changes that Manny has made, it's almost impossible not to. I've had to sip on it a few times.
Just a taste
the
test.
hires that, the hires that he's made, I'm fully on board with. I think that they're great hires. I think that there is a pretty big difference between the hires this year versus the hires last year. Enos, and to be honest, I had no idea who Dan Enos was when we hired him last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he came from Alabama. But the one thing about it was he was not a play caller there. It had not called plays in I think a few years. So
Yeah, I'm
so
not
he
going
was
to
not a
lie.
proven-
A lot of people, not to interrupt you, I just want to put it out there. A lot of people were hype on Enos literally just because he came from Alabama. I know that people liked
Alabama.
the QBs under him. That was a big deal that he had coached those guys up. But you throw that Alabama name on it, put that tag on it, and people freaked out.
Yeah. It's just like the assistants of the Patriots. He's from the Bill
Oh,
Belichick
yeah.
tree. He's
Yep.
got to be great. So
Yep.
it's not always that. It's not always that way. And he really just clashed with the players that we had down there. I mean, I don't think that they got along.
You're
I think
right.
It was just
I've
tension all year long that was just about to bust.
I've seen a lot of people talk about the fact that it was even more than just that terrible. We could go on. I could sit here and describe it for days, but that offense that he brought, it was actually a lot more than just that. There was a lot of butting of heads. There was other coaches really honestly not getting along with him, not really liking him that much, him not meshing well with the players. There was a lot of stuff that went into that with the Dan Enos situation. So you're right.
Right, and the other thing I wanted to say is our O line. I know it's still a worry for a lot of people, and it's a worry to me some,
Yeah.
but it's not near as much because for one, they're everybody's coming back. We're not losing anybody. So even though they are still extremely young, they are all still coming back with a year of experience under their belt. And instead of the play calling working against them, it will be working toward helping them. So that should make, and they did improve some during certain types of the year, depending on the play calling was
Yeah.
dependent on how they performed.
You're right.
And in the games that they performed well in, they were more of it was more of the the spread offense when we got behind and we had to run it. Our offensive line performed pretty well for the most part. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal this upcoming year as long as nobody gets hurt.
I definitely don't think either way that it will be as big of a deal as it was in 2019, regardless, with this, like you mentioned, with the new offense and stuff we're bringing in.
Right. And the other thing I wanted to say is, with Lashley and him having a track record of an offense that he runs, even when he was at UConn and there was nobody there, I mean nobody, he still improved the offense by 30 or 40 slots in 1 year. So with the talent that Miami has, and the other big thing with picking up Derek King, who is familiar with running that type of offense,
Mm-hmm.
I know that our quarterbacks on the roster probably ran a spread in high school, but they haven't ran it at the college level.
Right,
and
and
to have
that's
a quarterback
different.
like Derek King that's accustomed to it and is used to it, it's just going to make it so much more easier to transition into. And I really think that that Lashley is going to come out on fire with offense. I don't think there's going to be that much of a break-in period. I think he's going to get it from Jump Street nearby.
And I feel like you almost, I know this is putting some extra pressure on his shoulders, but I feel like given the 2019 season and the struggles we had on offense and everything that went on with Dan Enos, you have to come out firing and show that you've revamped and brought a better offense to Miami. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him to perform right out of the gate, 100%.
Yep. Because if he comes out the first couple games, especially against these weaker teams that we're going to be playing, and the offense struggles, then people's going to start talking, and it's not going to be good. If he can come out of the gate against these teams that we should have no problem beating, we should if we can come out and really put up 35, 40 points in both them first couple games, it will just be a huge confidence booster for the whole team.
Yep.
So, but like I said, that's all I want to say. I didn't want to take up a bunch of time, Coop. I know other people want to call. I'm taking my kids to the trampoline park for a lock-in. So.
Miami for life.
Sounds like you're racing them, right?
Yeah. I'm trying. We live in Alabama, so it's hard.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know kind of how I feel in Tennessee. I don't know if it's worse in Alabama or not, but it's pretty bad.
Oh, man. In Alabama, it's Roll Tide or War Eagle, and that's it.
Sorry, just threw up in my mouth a little bit. All right. Brett Varner, if you don't mind, I'm going to save your number for when you call in. That way I can properly address you next time when you call in. And I appreciate the conversation that you brought to the call tonight.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, Coop. You have a good night. Go Canes.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Bye-bye.
Ooh, I'm seeing some going back and forth in chat with Tarberdine. Now, I've been very upfront that I know Tarberdine is a huge fan of Manny Diaz, and everyone is more than welcome to express their opinion and how they feel about the situation. I will address that. Do I think Manny Diaz is the best coach in college football? Absolutely not. The personal opinion, you can't say that after a 6-7 season. Could he maybe be in the future? Yes, that's a possibility for almost any coach, that they could potentially be the greatest coach in college football eventually. Is he right now? No way. But I do feel like you guys, it's good. I like having these conversations, though, and I'm reading what you guys are putting. When I'm taking these calls, I know a lot of times you guys think, well, Coop's not even paying attention to my message. He ain't seeing it. I'm seeing it. I'm reading it. I got Manny's back because he's our coach. We need to support him because negativity kills programs. Yeah, I mean, you're right to an extent. Yeah, because, again, wishing for him to fail is just one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Constructively criticizing him is okay. 100%. And I even made fun of him and did. You guys saw the little bits and the little stuff I did. I ate the paper sandwiches. I sat here in a garbage can and live streamed from it. So don't think that I don't criticize Miami. I do it all the time. You love it though? Young Jedi Kane, you want to call in? Let's get you in here, man. It looks like you might have tried to call in a few minutes ago. It's good to see you hanging out too, Cypher. I like it. I'm not going to mention your team. I know who it is. I don't want to get people too riled up. I mean, you can if you want. But I appreciate you hanging out and talking Miami. Let's get Young Jedi Kane in here. How many people are planning on going to the FSU game so we can meet up? Let me get a show of hands while we get Young Jedi Kane on here. Young Jedi Kane, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
We're hanging out, talking Miami football. You know the conversation that's going on tonight. It's a hot topic. It's very debatable. People get heated when we start talking about putting some respect on Manny Diaz's name after the performance we had in the 2019 season, but now he's making some big moves again in the offseason this year. So what do you think? Are you giving Manny Diaz any respect?
I'm giving him all the respect. As far as what I've seen, he really improving the program, and I feel like the Ed rehire, like that was really good. I feel like he's gonna bring more intensity to the program and get the players more hyped up and eager to win. And we just have to stick with Manny, even though, like, I still take him for like for our coach, even if we don't have a so good season, because it's like we just keep on throwing coaches away and we not letting them get good, and we not gonna get good like that. And then even if we have a good season after next year, I feel like we're not gonna have that great of a season because we just rely on transfer portals. We need to get a quarterback that we know that's gonna stay for 4 years or 3 years. We just don't have that right now because we're young. We had to restart, so.
Yeah.
We just have to stick. We have to stick with Manny.
Yeah, I feel like we'd all be
good.
singing a different tune if he had kept Enos on the staff, or if he had kept Butch Berry on the staff. I might even be singing a different tune. But that's why I keep saying that he's shown that he's not stubborn, that he's willing to adapt. And in the world of college football today, I feel like you've got to be willing to do that.
Yeah. I just don't know how we're gonna look, but I am sipping the Kool-Aid. I feel like we're gonna be good, and we should go at least 11-1 with the schedule that we have.
Okay, so you sipping the Kool-Aid at the moment. All right.
Yeah. We just have to see how it goes, but it's just I don't know. It's like I learned that like the Miami fan base is just toxic. It's just a lot of people that hate on him just to hate on him.
Yeah.
Even they call themselves Miami fans.
It's kind of, I'll tell you this, Young Jedi Kane, being here on this platform on YouTube, and we're up to around, I think we hit over 12,000 subscribers. I've noticed that over the years, I've been doing this for about 3 years now, that in today's times, it's a lot cooler to hate on things. What people like to do, again, constructive criticism is a whole different category. I'm talking just hating on something just to hate on it. People like to group up together and just hate on stuff. It's fun for a lot of people to do. They think it makes them look cool. And unfortunately, I think you guys might have saw my tweet earlier today. It's kind of the reality of the situation that we're in today's times.
Yeah.
Like I said, criticism is a totally different category. We ain't talking about that. But just hating on something and wishing for someone to fail just because.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they want Manny to fail so bad just because of the first season. That was his first season.
Yep. So instead, they would rather sit through another failing season just so we can bring in someone else, just to hope that we win the coaching lottery and somehow go to the playoffs or the national championship in their first year.
It ain't. I don't know. We gotta stop the coaching lottery. Like, I don't want to keep on seeing a different coach.
I feel you.
It's just like since I've been alive, I haven't really seen that good of a Miami team. Like a few years ago, but the season went off in a bad note when like Clemson just demolished us. I was hurt. It's just I don't know. It's just I haven't seen like a really good long, like a really good Miami Hurricanes team where like we have balance throughout the years and we don't go 1 year good, the next 3 years we horrible.
Right.
It's just I don't know. But I feel like we can improve a lot this season with the players that we have. We have a lot of good playmakers and young guys.
All right, Young Jedi Kane, I appreciate you calling in. You know that you're kind of famous around here in these parts. So I appreciate you calling in and giving your opinion.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. That was Young Jedi Kane. Y'all know, real big Miami fan. Bleeds that orange and green. Young Jedi Kane, it's good to hear from you, man. And South Georgia Kane, becoming a member of the Canes fam, man. If you refresh the stream, you should have pretty cool little U beside your name. And then you've got access to some Canes fam only emotes. So you can put a U in the chat. You can put a Manny Diaz head, some foam hands throwing up the U, all sorts of cool stuff. So thank you for the support, South Georgia Kane. I really appreciate that, man. We got Dante in the chat tonight. It's good to see you, man. I think Ed was really hired to bring players together and create a brotherhood in the locker room and off the field. Yeah, he can have an impact like that. A lot of people were saying I don't care about the Ed Reed hire because it's not in a coaching role. But the thing is he can still talk to these players, right? He can help get their mind right. He can sit down with these guys and be like, "What's going on? What's going on with you right now? What's going through your head?" You know? And he can try to help steer them in the right direction and get that right mentality that we want these players to have. So he 100% can help with that. And you also got to think, for those of you that really want Ed Reed to be in a coaching position, he's already on the staff. People can be promoted from within. So he's got his foot in the door if that's something that you have in mind. If you really want to see him in a coaching position, it could happen. These kids will listen to Ed Reed. Yes, you looks good by your name, South Georgia Kane. I like it. That is somebody that kind of already comes in with respect on his name. Someone like Ed Reed. So, as a matter of fact, we're talking about putting respect on Manny Diaz's name. See, maybe a lot of people feel like, okay, he hasn't earned it, right? He ran a pretty powerful, highly ranked defense at Miami, but as a head coach, he's put out a lot of nothing, so he really hasn't earned a lot of respect. Ed Reed comes in very highly respected, and a lot of these guys maybe even looked up to him at some point. So he absolutely can have an impact. You're right. They will listen to him. Let's see. Let's go through ER. Yeah, and I feel like Ed Reed isn't going to put up with any BS. You're right. Again, I know that it's a chief of staff role, but I don't feel like he's going to put up with BS. I don't think he would. Conundrum Records. What's going on, man? John Shields says, I have Kool-Aid made, but won't start drinking it until we're 3-0 in this coming season. Learned my lesson in 2019. Nothing wrong with that, John Shields. Nothing wrong with that at all, man. All right, let's take the next caller. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
You got Mel on the line.
Mel, how's it doing, man? It's good to hear from you.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm here at work. I decided to take a little quick break, chime in just a bit.
Nice. All right, let's get you in here. You know the topic we're discussing here. Let's see what you've got.
All right, so I remember calling back on the last stream we did a while back and said that, I'm just going to wait until, season starts and see how games go. But I will say, after what I've seen, I'm pretty excited, but not too excited. Not drinking the Kool-Aid completely. With what we got in place, players and staff, it comes down to players' development and players' determination and wanting to compete and win. So at this point, with all the ammunition in place, there should be no reason why we should fail, especially with the season schedule that we have coming up. So the only thing I will say with it, such an easy schedule, it would be kind of scary to see going from an okay or below average, in my opinion, schedule to playing someone like Clemson.
Right.
But I would say it will be a pretty nice setup for next season after this schedule goes and see what it's like to play some Power 25 teams.
Yeah, you're right. Because if you imagine, don't take this out of context, people. Everyone who's listening, imagine Miami goes 11-1 or 12-0 this year. How much respect are we going to get based on the schedule that we're going to have this year?
Right.
Unless something crazy happens and a lot of these teams end up getting highly ranked. Currently, as we sit, we still wouldn't get that much respect. Now, I know that could set us up to go play in the ACC championship and whatnot. And again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. We're just talking hypothetical here, talking about the strength of schedule.
Now, I will say, though, depending on how we play these teams, if we go out and play some smash mouth football,
right,
then I have some pretty exciting opinions as to what can become of what Miami can be. But I'm definitely excited with the whole Ed Reed hire because he's going to bring some heat, and he's already done that with his little press conference that he had
Yeah,
already.
everybody's talking about it.
So I'm excited about it, but like I said, it just comes down to player development and players' responsibility to study the playbook and go out there and play hard.
I agree. Like you said, I think that he is making the right moves, and I think he's trying his best to put us in the best position to win. But we need everybody on board, everybody working every day to make this thing come together.
Absolutely. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I got to get back to work. I'll be on your stream, and I'll be listening.
Sounds
on
good.
it.
Mel, I appreciate you chiming in, man. I'm glad we could get you in here.
I appreciate it, man.
Have a good one. Don't work too hard.
Try not to.
Bye-bye. It looks like we got Taz Land showing up. How you doing tonight, man? So that was Mel from the chat. You guys are super familiar with Mel. Real good guy. Chiming in on his break at work. So we got a lot of Miami haters in here tonight. That's okay as well. I welcome everybody, fans of opposing teams, people who just do not like Miami. You guys are welcome to come in here, speak your piece. I like going back and forth. Fire Fortes, it's always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. I don't mind as long as people keep things about football. You guys are probably aware, everybody who's been here for a long time, if anyone ever starts bringing personal stuff into arguments, I don't put up with it. Period. The way that I built this channel over the last 3 years is I keep it about football. If you bring anything personal into it, I will shut it down instantly. We never go there. Keep it about football. If you can't keep it about football, then your argument's invalid as far as I'm concerned. Let's take the next phone call. What's going on? Who we got on the line?
What's up, Coach? It's Dante. How you doing tonight?
Man, I think I said this last time you called in, and I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. What kind of phone are you using? Like, your call quality is so crystal clear that I don't even know how to put it into words.
It's a Pixel 3. Yeah, this is my second time calling you.
Okay.
It's been a while.
It just sounds so good. I don't even know how to explain it. All right,
Yeah,
Dante.
it's a Pixel 3.
A lot of us are familiar
Google
with
5.
Dante. I like the conversations that he brings to the chat. So you've been here for a bit. You know kind of what we're talking about with Manny Diaz stuff, the 2020 season, the Kool-Aid. So I'm going to give you the floor, kind of what you want to talk about. I can chime in if you need me to, but let's talk.
Let's have a discourse. I don't need to have the floor. We can have a discourse.
Okay.
You know, I got 10 minutes like everybody else. But yeah, I've been following in the chat. You know, it's fascinating, but not surprising that you know, we have a large amount of non-UFAM people in the chat that have to share their opinions about Miami. Well, the hairs are raising on the backs and necks of programs across the nation right now because they can feel that storm wind coming. Okay? They can feel that hurricane coming. They know. Everybody's worried about it. You know, that don't mean we're going to go 12-0. Don't mean we're going to go 11-1.
Right.
But we coming. You know, things are getting fixed. And the fact of the matter is, Colin Cowherd said it 4 years ago when Mark Richt became our coach, right before we ended up going 10-0, before we went 10-3. You know, he said it on his show. When the Miami Hurricanes have been at their peak, that means when we are at our best, there has not been one program, not a Bama, not a Clemson, not a OSU, not a Georgia, not a nobody, that has come close to that level of exceptional play. And it's just facts. Miami Hurricanes are like the Brazilians of college football. Nobody does it like us. Okay? We like the Brazilians are the soccer. It's facts. Nobody does it like us. We invented the swag. We are Chuck Berry. The rest of y'all are Elvis. Just get used to it. We coming back to get ours.
I like it. I like it. I love
you know?
it.
And so what I want to say is, people that are having their issues with Manny, before I let you go, Coop, and then we can start our discourse, everybody knows I was on Manny's head in 2019.
You were,
I'm going to stay critical. I'm going to always be critical because I see the game. I'm not just watching like a fan. I actually see the game. I grew up with sports, so and I love the Hurricanes. I'm tired of watching them underperform. Miami has beaten themselves now for 15 plus years for numerous reasons. Most of us know them. Most of those reasons are finally done. 2019 was the worst thing that could happen, but it was the best thing that can happen. Because had 2019 went any other way, let's say somehow Manny caught Jaron before he went out, before the FIU game, we win that game, we win Duke.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play La Tech. We either win or lose, but play great in the bowl game. We still have Dan Enos. We still have Butch Berry. We
We
still have
would.
Taylor Stubblefield.
Yeah, that just makes
That's no
sense.
good.
Yeah.
That's no good. Okay, so things had to happen the way they had to happen for us. It was a blessing in disguise. Manny Diaz came here, you know, as a fan. Now he's learning to be a coach, and that's all. That's what y'all need to understand. Manny was acting like a fan last year. That's why he was talking big whoop, just like most fans talk big
Yeah,
whoop.
we do.
He
Yeah.
was a fan last year. He was so happy because he went to Temple thinking he might be back here 5 years later,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. He ended up being here 5 years before he planned. He came in with big whoop and he got humbled. He got a can of whoop ass and he ate his humble pie that Butch sent him in the mail and he's ready to go. They voted Manny the 122nd best coach in college football
Mm.
out of 130. So
Mm.
trust me, Manny is motivated right now. So just, like I said, I like to see good things. I'm gonna be on his hat when he was fronting.
Right.
Manny was fronting last year. I don't like faux swag. We don't need faux swag. The whole creation of the new Miami, that was fake swag. We don't need fake swag. We need to get back to what we had. And what that is, Ed Reed is in the building. He's the embodiment. He's a self-actualized hurricane. You don't get no better than that. He like Goku, Mace Windu.
And
We're gonna be all right.
I hate that people are downplaying getting Ed Reed on the staff. I know, like I mentioned, people being
They're
disappointed.
afraid. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They know that Miami has been missing one thing for certain since 2005 when Larry Coker, because they put pressure on Larry Coker because they really wanted to fire him, which is what they should have just did. But they put pressure on him and he fired everybody on the staff and got rid of Kehoe and all the people that had been around because of a 9-3 season, and we have never recovered since then because we lost our identity. We lost the people in the building that knew what it meant to be a true Cane, to be a hurricane. The work behind the swagger. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say chivalry came from knighthood?
Yeah.
We all know knights kick ass, but they're some of the best gentlemen they are. It's the same thing with being a hurricane. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the same thing. It comes the same way. But we had we didn't have an identity. We didn't have any coaches that they were hiring that knew what they were doing. The one we got, Randy Shannon, they didn't give him any support. Plus, Randy had his own little bit of arrogance issues, but the main issue was they didn't support him. They didn't give him enough money to get coaches. Once we got a good coach, we couldn't keep him. They wouldn't get rid of Nevin Shapiro. He said that was like the first thing he asked for when he got the job. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
they fired him when he had a number one recruiting class coming in. It was about to be his second number one. I mean, we had Bridgewater, we had Patrick Peterson, we had Kelvin Benjamin. We had a top flight. If we would have got that class, trust me, the Jerry Judys, the Amari Coopers. Amari Cooper used to wear Miami clothes to high school. And Al Golden just said, no, we don't,
Yeah.
he can't play here.
It would
So,
have been kind of crazy.
We've been through things, but a lot of that stuff came to fruition last year in one season where we completely underperformed. And now we get a chance with a fresh start. We just gotta watch Manny. Manny's putting his heart into it right now.
Yeah,
And that's all I can say.
I do feel like, and I know you were already here when I was saying that, but I feel like he does truly care about being successful at the University of Miami. I don't think that everyone looked at him before when he was going to go to Temple as, man, that defensive coordinator that was so good at Miami, that was going to be his legacy for the time being. Again, like you said, he probably wanted to try to come back to Miami at some point. Does anyone think he wants to go out knowing that he did come back to Miami as the head coach and he sucked, and that's what everyone's going to remember him for? No
Trust
way.
me, that's his worst nightmare. He's from Miami. Trust me, Manny. This is what, like, I was talking to a homeboy the other day, and I had him giggling because we was talking about this, and I was like, "Look, man, think about this. Manny Diaz is in a family full of Hurricane fans. You don't think he got cousins and nieces, nephews, and shit that they
Oh,
talking shit to Manny
they're
too.
giving him
Like,
heck.
Manny, look, dude, I love you, Manny. Manny, Manolo, I love you, Mike. I love you. But for real though, if you don't get this shit together,
Yep.
I'm gonna ask for you to get fired on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, trust me, Manny is getting it from all angles right now. And he knows that. He put his work in this offseason. I'm not saying drink the Kool-Aid. You can do
Yeah.
what you want. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker. It's got too much sugar in it. But I will be sipping some Hurricane when we win in games, though. You know
All
what I'm saying?
right.
It's
All
just
right.
it's just the way it is. But like, the fact of the matter is, Manny has put in his work. I'm not saying we back either. I hate when people say that. Because we never left. We had issues, man. We had we are the only school in the college football spectrum that literally has a chance every year where we should be competing for the playoff, but had an administration that didn't care. No other college football, if any other college football had the history that we had that don't have that, so some non-blue blood was actually Miami, they would have built statues to the players by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we tore down the Orange Bowl. They tore down the Orange Bowl. That literally cut the soul out of the program. And the program has somehow taken a while to recover, and it's just now starting to come. It's had flashes, 2017, you know. I
And
mean,
I
those
like
games
though,
were ugly games, but they won those games. So,
and I like though
it
that
is
you
what it is.
mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that just by saying that Manny Diaz is making some moves, and I'm saying, he's willing to adapt and give him a little bit of respect and stuff, that it doesn't mean that I'm saying or you're saying or that any of these people trying to be somewhat cautiously optimistic but a little positive as well, that it doesn't mean we're saying we're going 11-1 or 12-0. That's not at all what I'm saying.
My mindset is always 12. I'm a Hurricane fan
I mean,
my
that's the end goal.
orange and green. My
Right.
my mindset is always 12-0.
Right,
Like
that's
I
the
said,
goal. And that's
I don't put a number in the L column until I have to.
right.
I really don't predict the season, but looking at this schedule, some people would call it foo-foo, or Mickey Mouse, or whatever you want to call it. But it's a schedule. And based on the way we played last year, the fact that we're putting in and installing a brand new system. I mean, like, we're putting in a brand new operating system, man. We going from OS, you know what I'm saying, to Windows.
Yep.
We going from Apple to Microsoft right now. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa, whatever you want to look at it. So this is a full install. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like it's gonna be just easy, but the thing about it for me is this is what's natural to our players. That's why I'm optimistic. I'll break it down. This is what's natural to our players. And then I'll let you get your next caller. This is what's natural to our players. They grew up in the system. One. Two, we have at least 5 or 6 offensive coordinator minds on our staff.
Yep.
Brett Lashley, Garen Justice, Rob Lincolns, all have called plays at the college level. Lockett has called plays at the college level on a lower division. Hippolyte has called plays at the high school level. Stephen Fields has called plays at the high school level. You see what I'm saying? And you got the analysts that Brett Lashley brought with him from SMU. We have offensive juggernauts.
They're coaching different
mentally right now.
positions and have different roles, but they're all
They
working
all
together.
They've all used this air raid and spread system. We are going to be running a spread raid. It's going to be a mixture because Brett Lashley comes from the run background of Gus Malzahn, but he's incorporated the pass happiness of Sonny Dykes, so he's got that going for him. And then thirdly, you guys just got to understand that what's happening right now, it's been good. We got the injuries, but spring ball will come up and time will tell. You know what I'm saying? Time will tell. But Coop, what you got promoting today, I think it's good because it's important that people don't rob themselves of this time to be positive with what happened last year. Because in the end, you should be happy to let go of last year. Last year was horrible. Like, I'm generally someone that will hold on and be like, man, that shit sucked. But at the same time, what's going on right now has been mostly positive.
Yeah.
And, as a fan base, we definitely have a connection with our program. Let's try to be a little bit, like you said, cautiously optimistic, wait and see approach, however you want to say it, instead of like still calling for Manny's head. Because the bottom line is, if Manny leaves, Ed Reed might leave. Ed Reed might not want to work with whoever else they
It's
bring in.
true. That's very true.
Y'all gotta start. Y'all gotta start thinking a little smarter. There's too many wounded. Y'all gotta take the Dan Eno shades off, man. Y'all looking at this program with very scarred eye. You're scarred from, and I understand
Yeah.
Coker, Shannon, Golden, Rick, Diaz, his first year. I understand the hurt, but you really got to stop doing that to yourself, because there are things to look at. Last year was horrible, but that was last year, man. There were plenty of, if you watch the games over, there were plenty of things that could have been done differently had we had a different offensive coordinator, a different O-line coach. And that, actually, I'll end on that. The O-line scenario. Butch Berry he was not good with young men.
No.
And he was very particular and picky and honestly unrealistic about choosing recruits. So nobody was ever good enough, which is why we don't have any recruits. And it was the same thing with Searles. Searles was horrible mentally to the young man. Butch Berry was horrible mentally to the young man. Garen Justice is not only having to teach these young men the proper technique, he's having to build their confidence back up. Okay? So just give it time.
Dante?
I'm saying give it time.
Hey, man, I always appreciate the conversations and stuff you bring. And as I said, I love I see you conversating with people in the chat and stuff. Don't ever think that I don't see it. I see the messages and stuff you're putting. I like the knowledge and conversations that you start and stuff in there. And it's always
yeah, man,
a
I just
pleasure
like
to
to
have you
pick
call in.
people's brains, man, because ultimately I'm Hurricane 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do like good ball. Like, there's a cat, Sergeant AR-10 up in there. He's a UGA fan. Like, I told him, like, yo, man, getting Jamie Newman is going to surprise a lot of people about UGA next year. Getting Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator that came from the Browns, everybody's like, oh, he's a pro guy. They're going to run pros. He was the same guy that was the offensive coordinator for Brandon Reedon in 2011 when they should have got a chance to play LSU instead of Bama for the national championship game. The dude is a passing coordinator guru, and Jamie Newman is dope. So Georgia's going to be interesting next year.
Yeah.
They could pull a LSU in the SEC, So I pay attention to ball because I want to see it in our uniform. And fortunately, I feel like I will this year.
And I can tell. I'm telling you, when you speak about these things, you do it very confidently, and you can tell that in the way that you talk about it. So that's why I always enjoy the conversations.
Oh, man, it's the same with you, man. You have a genuineness to the way you conduct your show. It's nice. It's nice. It's open to everybody. Like, it's
Always,
nice
yeah.
to have. It's nice to have Miami haters in the chat.
Yeah.
It would feel weird if there weren't, because truth is, there's always gonna be Miami haters. There's people. I mean, and this is everybody in college football. There's nobody that is a college football fan that is indifferent to Miami. We're too important. They either love us or they hate us, but they definitely got something to say.
Yeah, and I do
Remember that.
I like seeing and hearing different point of views at times, whether it be good or bad, and I do enjoy that. But Dante, I appreciate you calling in, my friend, and have a good rest of your night, man. I for some reason I hadn't saved your number, even though you had called in before. It probably just slipped my mind or something, so I wrote it down. I'm going to save
That's
your number.
all good, man. You fortunately for us, you post your number
need to get
on the
them
side of
likes
your
and
screen. So
subscribes up for
if I ever
Coach
need
Coop.
to call in again or feel like calling in again, more importantly, I will do so. But until then, man, keep doing what you're doing. What's up, you fam? It's all about the you.
Have a good night, Dante. Appreciate you, man. That was Dante in the chat. You guys are always conversating back and forth with him. He's always bringing some interesting things, ideas, opinions, and he likes to pick at your brain a little bit and see what you guys think. And I always enjoy his conversations. And I don't want to miss the donations. Mel came through with a $20 donation straight through the PayPal link. Mel, thank you, my friend. While you're at work on top of it. That's crazy. And then DJ comes through with $1.99 and said, let's go. This guy has me pumped up. Dante has that effect, DJ. Like I said, he speaks very confidently when he's talking, and he can get you pumped up talking about Miami. And then Mel comes through and out-donates himself. How crazy is that? Mel literally out-donates himself with the 21 and says, y'all need to get them likes and subscribes up for Coach Coop, and donates to promote the stream. Thank you, Mel. That's very kind of you. I'm going to put it at that. All right, I'll donate yourself. All right, I'll put you up there. Appreciate that, Mel. While you're at work, though, that just blows my mind, man. Thank you. I don't know. I think we might wrap up on Dante's conversation. That was a really good conversation, and I think that I might actually end on that one. I'm glad that we discussed this tonight. There are a lot of Miami haters present at the moment. As I said, your opinion is welcome as well. People who are going to continue to constructively criticize, your opinion is welcome as well. People who are putting some respect on Manny Diaz's name, your opinion is welcome as well. I welcome everybody to come in here and chat on this channel, period, regardless of what team that you root for. But as for me, I have put some serious respect on Manny Diaz's name for his big-time off-season changes. However, again, I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic and just sip the Kool-Aid and wait and see if that translates to wins in the 2020 season. That's my take on it. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight, chilling, talking Miami Hurricanes football. I try to do this every Friday night. I missed last week because I had some stuff come up that was going on that I had to take care of. But otherwise, I try to do this every Friday night at 9 p.m. just to give you guys a heads up. Because I think we hit, how many people did we hit tonight, guys? At one point, I think we hit 175 people. On a Friday night, I didn't schedule this stream until today, so that's huge. That's awesome, you guys showing up loud and proud. I want to address two questions that I didn't get to say or to answer. The light up U behind me, that is not available for purchase. A subscriber built that for me and sent it to my P.O. box. If I ever find out where you can get one, I'll let you know. But someone just built it and sent it to me last year. Also, people are asking about the hat. Let me give you a link for the hat. Some of you know what the hat stands for. Some of you don't. If you don't know right now, you'll put two and two together. You'll figure it out. Let me pull up a link for the hat so I can put it down in the chat. Because listen, I have so many people ask me about this hat. Well, their site might be down at the moment. It is good to see you, Dan. And I think who else had made it? Andy Adams is in the chat. Mr. Goat Sheep 22 was here for the whole stream. The whole stream. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys. As I said, the Miami fans and the non-Miami fans, this channel wouldn't be possible without you guys. It wouldn't be near as fun. I'm just going to be honest. I love talking Miami football, but it wouldn't be near as fun if I sat here and just talked to myself for the last 2 hours. It wouldn't be near as fun. You guys conversating in the chat and calling in makes it a lot more fun. Let me see if I can find this hat real quick. The place that I got it from is sold out. Let's see. Caneswear did have it. Let me see if they've got it, and I'll link it for you guys. While I'm looking for it, is anybody going to watch the XFL game tomorrow? I thought about going live for the XFL game. I know that it's not college ball. I know that it's not Miami, but I'm really curious to see how it goes. Think, this is the first. Obviously, there was an XFL in the past, but they've revamped it and redone everything. This is their first game tomorrow at 2 p.m. How is everything going to go? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to go off without a hitch? Are they going to run into a bunch of problems? This is the first XFL game. So I'm thinking about watching it tomorrow and going live and doing the live hangouts like we do. And I'll have links for the game and stuff if you need it. Come on, UM Headwear. Here we go. All right, let's see if they got it in stock, and I'll link it for the couple people who are interested. See if they got it. But if you guys want me to, I will. I posted that video. If you want to run down on the rules for the XFL, it's wildly different than the NFL. Totally different set of rules. I posted a video at 4 a.m. this morning. Yes, 4 a.m. I'm absolutely insane. on this channel. Look at it. It'll be the video right before this one that goes over all of the rules for the XFL. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, nah, listen, I can figure it out. It's totally different. Wow, this hat may not be available anymore. The game will be at 2 p.m. tomorrow on ABC for the first XFL game. Is this hat not available? There it is. There it is. There are not many left, guys. I'm going to link it. Who's my team? The Tampa Bay Vipers, Dante. I'm pulling for the Vipers, man. They're rocking that green, so you know. That's a link to the hat. If you guys are looking for this 5 and counting hat, that's a link that I just threw down in the chat. But yeah, maybe we'll do it. Keep an eye out on the channel, and I'll go live and we'll hang out for the first XFL game. Let's, again, there's no regular season games, NFL or college right now. Let's hang out and watch it tomorrow afternoon and just see what it's all about. You know, maybe it sucks. If it does, then we'll talk about it. We'll be like, boy, wow, the XFL sucks. It's going to flop. If it's cool, we'll be like, hey, that's pretty cool. Maybe the NFL will implement this rule or change this. So let's watch it and see what it's all about. There's some former Hurricanes on some of these teams. Keep that in mind. You're going to see names that you recognize. It's not a bunch of nobodies. So that'll be pretty cool to see. But that's a link to the hat down there. Thank you for all the love tonight. Thank you for everyone who called in. Thank you, top donation on the day. Mel with the $21 out donating himself. But I do want to give everybody a shout out tonight, actually. DJ also donated to South Georgia Kane. Became a Canes fan member. Kane for Life 75 donated. Hurricane Logan stopped in for a bit. If you're still here, Hurricane Logan, I hope everything's been going good for you, man. I know you had some issues going to the doctor and the hospital and stuff. I hope you're all right, man, if you're still here. Brett Varner also brought a good conversation on the phone tonight, also donated. And T2Y Exclusive also donated. Check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Thank you for everything, guys. I'm going to play an outro screen. What do we want? What closing words do we want? What closing words do we want? You know what? I'm going to go with the usual. I'm going to go with the usual and just give me a Go Canes. But like big time. Give me big time, all caps, and spam it. All caps and spam it. Go Canes, baby. Ride or die, baby. Let's go. 2020, I'm pumped. I'm sipping, all right? Peace out, guys.